Hey gang, Ronan here. As you can see in this game, we've got np21 playing in the Tier 8 U.S. Heavy Cruiser Baltimore. He's top tier, which is always really nice. I would say maybe especially in a cruiser. There is a CV on the other team. It's a Tier 6 CV, which means it's going to have a hard time landing big strikes on Baltimore. Baltimore's AA is, of course, not stellar. But, well, I mean, really, what is anymore? But just the fact that the Balti is 2 tiers higher is, for np21, a really, really good thing. Keep an eye on the kid, which is yet to move, I think. The DD that's on this side. Okay, a little bit about the Baltimore. If you haven't played this line, the guns are 203s. Got 9 of them. 3 turrets, 3 barrels each turret. Base reload is 10 seconds. Yeah, not great, but they hit pretty hard. Max HE shell damage is 2,800 per shell, and AP is 5,000 per shell. So if you land a big broadside shot, you can do pretty big damage in this thing. Even against battleships in a lot of cases. Secondaries are, well, they're cruiser secondaries. 6.6 kilometer range. They don't do a whole lot of damage. 1,800 per shell if you hit anything. If you get that close in a cruiser, though, things have gone terribly wrong in most cases. Hydro is up. HE shells are out. A nice shot for 3,700 damage. And does get a fire burning on the Bismarck right away. Max speed on this ship, 32.5 knots. You can stick a signal on there to increase that a little bit. Turning circle radius 730 meters. Pretty decent. Rudder shift time, 10.2 seconds. AP shot out on the Otago. Resets the cap. And base surface detectability on the ship is 12.6 kilometers. That's kind of the particulars. I'll go in a little bit more detail as we move through the game here. Just taking a look at the current map situation. The bad guys have secured Alpha Cap. If you look down there on the one line, the Bayard and Dunkirk, they went outside, which that's a questionable move. They've got an Asashio out there and an Akatsuki on the red team. There is a friendly Akatsuki, but he's not really positioned to be able to spot torpedoes. Friendly Ranger, boy, he is living dangerously. You can see that there's a red Akatsuki now in the Bravo cap. And if nobody stops him, the bad guys are going to have all 3 caps. The kid finally is underway, but he does not seem at all interested in helping out in the cap at Charlie. Maybe he can get guns on the Senyang. Our hero's loading the AP, trying to get shots on the broadside of the Bayern. Bayern's turning out. And np21 is making really good use of the smoke. As those shells land in the water. Now, of course, one of the beauties of the U.S. cruiser line is the fact that they've got radar. As our hero switches to HE, trying to get the Bayern burning. Targeted by 3, now 1. Gotta be careful running broadside. These battleships targeted now by 2. And a Tago is detected. Looks like he's going to stick with the AG shells as the Tago is turning in. No, switching to AP, but a Tago is turning in. My guess is a Tago dropped torpedoes. And a Tago's going to turn out. Right? I mean, he doesn't have much choice. He's going to turn one way or the other. He's not going to push all the way through this gap. Friendly Kid is in position to get torpedoes on the Atago. Yeah, Atago's in big trouble here. He pushed up too close. He's got Zeton on the other side. np21 lights up his hydro to detect torpedoes. Switching to AG as Atago stays angled. There's a fire. Atago's basically coming to a stop here. There's a nice AP volley into the superstructure. And this is going to do it for Atago. Nicely done. So there's kill number 1. Okay, just from the World of Warships wiki, I'll give you the pros and cons of the Baltimore. Under pros, strong main battery in an ABX layout. You get the majority of the firepower on a target while remaining reasonably well angled. Shots out on Shenyang. Excellent AP shells.
Reporting the position of a strategic target.
As I mentioned a little while ago, shells do not have quite as high an arc as the Cleveland, making landing shells on target a little easier. Pretty good AA for the tier, though it's arguable whether anything really has good AA at tier 8 these days.
Good game, everyone.
The radar I mentioned, the possibility of defensive fire, although I think hydro is a much better bet. Pretty high shell arcs allow you to shoot over islands, which can be really good in a cruiser. It's a little tougher to do, say, for example, on a Russian cruiser, because the arcs on the Russian cruiser shells are so much flatter. Zeton's in trouble, and in fact does get sunk. Good guys are now down to 6 ships. Bad guys still have 7. Bad guys have, we'll call it 230 point lead, as Bismarck shows a little bit of side to our hero here and eats a nice chunk of damage. And I think this is going to be it for Bismarck. And it is. Nicely done. So that's kill number 2 for our hero. Shenyang is still out there. Got to be careful of that. But not being detected. np21 is now able to push into the cap as that kid goes to Davy Jones' locker. HE shells out on Bayern. Does get a fire. Showing some broadside here to the Bayern. Let's hope this doesn't hurt too much. Bayern's not exactly known for having great accuracy.
Concentrate fire on the enemy warship.
But at this range, you don't really have to have great accuracy. There's the Shenyang. np21 angles up as best he can. Looks like the Bayern's focused on the Mackinson. And np21 is just trying to get the Bayern burning. Okay, back to the pros. 27mm plating, which is nice. Can allow you to, if you angle properly, as you can see np21 is just trying to do here, you can bounce some battleship shells. The way that this reads is, and I'm going to quote here, effectively no citadel under turrets, plus its low positioning and unusual shape, make Baltimore quite difficult to citadel when angled. And there's kill number 3. And np21 is single-handedly keeping the good guys in this game. Good guys down to 3 ships, bad guys still have 4. Gets the radar going as Sun Yang is crossing broadside right in front of him. Let's hope these hit. He's going to have just enough time to get off another volley here. Just has to land 1. Oh no! Spreads the shells out a little bit. I think he's got him. Nope. Rangers keeping the Sun Yang lit up, but to no avail. Mackinson finishes off Sun Yang. And now both teams down to 3 ships. Bad guys still have a 2-1 advantage. You get to see what the AA can do here. I wouldn't call that big damage. And like most things, even if you have strong AA, it's not going to stop CV from striking you. And I think even one of those torpedoes will be enough to take Mackinson out of the game, so cross your fingers.
Torpedoes, direct front.
No, I was wrong. Thank goodness. Asashio torpedoes hit really hard, and there's the second batch. And if one of these hits, that is certainly going to spell the end for the Mackinson. But he's able to thread his way through them. And our hero turns between them like a pro. And another really nice feature of this ship is, if you spec for it, the detection range on this ship is very low. It looks to me like our hero here has not done that. You can see his detection radius if you look on the minimap. 12.2 kilometers, but you can get that down just under 10, I think. And Asashio is putting himself in position to get shot, and he does. A little bit shy of the mark there. Just needs a little bit more height, a little more elevation. Those are going to fall off to one side. Does land a shell. Let's hope this is it. I think it will be. Beautiful. That is kill number 4 if you're keeping score. Both teams now down to 2 ships, and the Shores has put himself in a rough spot. Shores certainly
Problem solved, sir.
can be a threat, especially at range, but you can see its AP is bouncing pretty harmlessly on the Balti's armor. Shores accelerates out from under those shells.
The enemy is about to win.
The AP on the Baltimore would probably shred the Shores, and you can see that that is exactly what np21 is doing. A little over the top there. And I'm sure Shores is thinking close and get the torpedoes away. And I think with our hero's AP, that's going to be a really dangerous proposition. Got to show side to get the torps away. Yep. Double Citadel to just blap the Shores. Nicely done as np21 picks up the Kraken Unleashed and a Confederate.
I owe you one.
And now the good guys have a 2 ships to 1 advantage, but it's either kill or cap. There's still over 5 minutes left in the game. This could go either way. Now, the cons of the ship, according to the World of Warships wiki: relatively high shell arcs plus slower shells mean the Baltimore still has to leave targets almost as much as Cleveland, and it makes island cover very important. Now there you can see the power of decent AAs against a lower tier CV. Now we know right where the Ranger's at, and I have a feeling that Ranger is in big trouble. Another con: high freeboard makes it a big target for incoming fire as compared to, say, Japanese cruisers. Vulnerable to HE spam or overmatching battleship AP. A double citadel to get things started. That's very hard hitting US heavy cruiser AP shells. And that Ranger is not long for this world. No torpedoes, which is another con that's mentioned, and then the ship is very slow relative to some of the other cruisers at the tier. A double citadel again. That's 6 now. Great game, np21. This looks like a 6-kill game here. Citadel number 7, and that's probably going to do it. Great job. Thanks for sending me the replay. Those of you joining me, thank you very much, and I'll see you next time.